So we talked about the core range with the black diamond and the sandband. These are my latest to the core range.
Yep.
And what I love is testing new models. First you got the new model and all the different rockers and concaves and rails, and then you got to pair it with fins. And this process for me takes anywhere from 6 months to 2 years, depending on what sort of model. But this one, the new one, the Nexus, was quite an easy one to do because I've combined two of my favourite models, which was the Utopia, which we found was one of the fastest boards. Nick already said it was the fastest board. But the 3DV, which rolled over from rail to rail. So I've actually combined two boards to get one board, and really excited. I know wave pools are becoming more and more popular, and I'm lucky, like you've been up to Kelly's, and I've been lucky to go on to Abu Dhabi as well, and Sydney, and all those wave pools. So I want to make a board for a wave pool, but also for the ocean. And this is one I've come up with, the Nexus. The Nexus is just a combo of two things. So same again, I just go back to what I know, putting in the Mick Fannings first. Board went great, lots of drive, but no release. Didn't go, and I've learned from my mistakes. I just didn't go to the carver. But after the fun I had on the Sandman, I went straight to accelerator. Yeah, accelerator.
Back to that guy.
And the first time I went accelerator, it just accelerated.
Yeah.
And it was just unbelievable. Only a thruster. It's not a quad because it's a squash tail, but I made this board for pools and for all of us to have fun on. I didn't really make it for the pros for competition.
Yep.
But I've made them some smaller ones, and they're going, if the waves are small, we're going to ride it because it's so fast.
Yeah.
And they've all ridden it in their fins, and I've gone down the beach and I said,
put this in. And
they've all come back to me, wow, you're right. But this fin again,
It's a pretty special fin, this one.
And just to finish, it's the single double concave, like all my pro model sort of thing, but the tail rocker is reduced again.
Yeah.
And it just seems something about this fin and the reduced tail rocker. I can imagine, I've never had much success surfing Manly on my tail rocker boards, but I'm ready to come to Manly and surf on this board.
You'll have the experience of your life.
Yeah, there you go.
Come down, mate. Look, it makes sense. You drop the rocker, your startup acceleration is going to be quicker.
Yep.
It's easier to generate speed, especially for punters and our sort of ability. So you don't want a fin that's really raked back, that's going to just anchor that tail in the water and create a bit of drag. You want something that's fairly neutral. When we talk about the sweep angle of the fin, this one is very similar to the Performer, and we call that neutral. Well balanced. It's a good all-rounder. And again, a little bit oversized on the accelerator template. So you can actually push it if you get in a nice pockety or a critical section, and you're not going to feel like it's going to skip out or twitch under your feet. It's a very predictable feel. So,
but not really to confuse you or me or everyone out there, but my new fin.
Yes.
With this reduced, I think we went 8% reduced on the back fin.
We did. We just shrunk it a little bit.
And I know Merrick's had that small back fin for a long time, and I've seen a lot of people ride and have a lot of success on that.
Yep.
So by reducing that, and these still being the same size, I found like I can go to a large now, have the drive of the large, and have the freedom of the tail from.
Still get the tail release.
And it's a unique feeling, like different than this.
Yep.
But I just find that if I ride them in the right conditions, and at the moment the testing I've done, I'm riding these at D-bar because it's got the same size back fin, and I'm riding these at where the wave's tapering down, like on a beach break that's tapering down, or snapper when you take off out the back and then you finish at the end. And I just find that the last turn, I can just get up there and do a little bit of a turn at the end. And the wave pool, I rode both of them as well. And at the Abu Dhabi, this was really good.
Yeah, well, because you're more down the line and you're pushing, driving off that slightly longer turn.
And
this one's going to get you in and out of that turn a little quicker.
And this one at Sydney
But yeah,
was amazing.
Yeah.
So, but those two fins combined with this board, I thought was, it was a really good educational for me to sort of test my fin and then realise these accelerators.
Well, I would say that in this board, in the Nexus, if you're a little bit more heavier footed and more on the sort of power surfer side, the accelerator is going to be your fin. If you're a bit lighter and tend to be a little bit more kind of
what are you talking about?
tail flicky, power versus finesse, let's call it. I think your template is going to be a great option there. So two very good options, both in the accelerator family, and that's a winner. Excited for that model?
Yep. So that one, really good. And that's why this model was quick to manufacture and make, because I already had the experience on the fins from the other boards, and I had the experience on the thing. So it was a really, really good model to make, and I think this is going to be like the Black Diamond, just one of those boards that's going to gravitate to a lot of people. But the other one, this other new one, this is the small wave fun board, the PHOENIX Flight. We did have the PHOENIX, was thicker in the tail, wider in the tail, wider in the nose. Still have it in the range because it's so good for when the waves are really small.
0 to 2.
0 to 2, basically. Because once it gets to 3, if you like that, throwing it around and getting a little bit squirrely, it was great. So then I made some changes, narrowed the tail, thinned the tail out, narrowed the nose, added a little bit more rocker, but same again, 5-fin set, right? And then went straight to my 5-fin set. Felt great. But you gave me all these fins, and you gave me a set which forever I've been going, nah, I don't like the Performer, but I don't know what it was. It's got this little thing in here or something.
It does.
But I put these in as a thruster, and it seems like it was grabbing the water and just, like, I felt like I was Mick Van for a minute. I felt like on the mediums that I was riding, it was grabbing water and letting me, push as hard as I want. It was an incredible fin. But what is this? What are we talking about here?
So on the reactor, on the accelerator, the carver, mech, most of the thruster range, the convex foil on the outside and a completely flat inside face. The Performer has what we call IFT, inside foil technology. So there's a concave on the inside of the face here. It's not extreme, it's quite subtle, but it tunes the hydrodynamic efficiency of this fin right up. The dial gets turned right up. So at lower speeds, and when you're driving through a turn and you're changing directions, different angles of attack, the water flow around this fin is incredibly efficient. And they were the sensations you were feeling. So wherever you went, however you were turning, the water attachment on the fin at that point was very, very efficient, and it was driving you through a turn. So this is our bread and butter fin, the Performer. It's the most versatile all-round template that we have. Really easy to pair with a lot of different models and a lot of different conditions. It's actually the template that Gabriel Medina has with us. He shifts size between the sides and the center. The sides are a little bit bigger, but it helps the average surfer to maintain speed as they're going through their turn and connecting their turns.
There you go.
So that's us, right? As you get older, or as your ability is not at a super high level, this fin actually helps you do that figure 8 motion. And I don't know if you remember when we launched this, it was the FG5, way back in the day.
Wow.
And we had that figure 8 logo, and we brought it out because that figure 8 logo represented exactly what that foil does on that fin. So
I did find it a little stiff.
Okay.
And then, I got these quads, which are nice and flexy. And like when we were using this sort of material. So I felt like if it had this material, which we
do.
That material and that, because that to me, I'm not strong enough to bend that. So
Okay, so when we talk about material, we talk about PC, which is performance core, and PCC, which is performance core carbon. So exactly the same manufacturing process, except you can see all these lines of carbon in there and the carbon on the base. So these really stiffen up the board. As you know, you've worked with carbon for your whole manufacturing life, and we know that carbon, when it gets glassed, creates stiffness, you know. So that's what that fin does. So this is more for a power surfer, someone that's maybe going to a powerful location. A lot of the pros lean into PCC. For the everyday surfer, you can't go wrong with performance core. It just has a very even, well-balanced flex, so that when you push against it, it's not, you're able to engage that flex, and then as you're coming out of the turn, it comes back and it actually springs you into the next turn. And it just feels nice under your feet. It's the ones where you surf on them and you actually don't feel it doing the work, but it's doing the work. They're the magic fins, and we find that this construction, this material, is suited to 80% of the population.
And this is what's in my DHD fin?
That's what Mick's fin's made out of, that's what Kolohe's fin's made of, that's what your fin's made of.
So just different,
Unless it's got PCC, PC carbon, then it's just.
So that's it, you know. We need flex in our fins, so they flex and they make us move forward. So that's what I'm going to make sure, that this is the fin. This technology is what's going to go in 90% of my boards.
Okay, so PC Performer for this model here.
PC Performer,
as a thruster and a quad. Now I noticed, I was just looking at your quad rears on this one, a little closer to the rail. So that's gonna make those quad rears act a little bit more like side fins rather than a bit less tracky, and that's going to really free it up a bit more too, isn't it?
It's got to, because you've got a big wide nose up there and reasonably wide tail. Just want to free it up. It's as I said, it's 1 to 4 foot. Thin the tail out so I can actually bury it and stuff. But this board, like the Phoenix, is just one of those boards that you're always going to have in your quiver. They're just, you can just put it under your, before you put it under your arm, you don't even have to look at the surf. And it was crap, and you can have lots of fun. Now you can put it on your surf, it doesn't matter if it's 1 foot and 4 foot, you're still gonna have fun. You're still gonna be able to control it, you know, so. But, all right, so that's perfect. So the PC performance for this, accelerator for that.
I really love that you've gone away and you've tested all the Essential Series fins, along with some of the Athlete and obviously your fin that we know. And in your, seems like the majority of your core range, the Essential Series fins, which are sort of built for the everyday surfer, you know, they're really resonating with these models, which is cool. Yeah,
well, I've been telling, you know, everyone, big fanning fin, but all my fin now have changed. You know, your range has just got so many options, and look out, here we come.